Right then, let's go for another game. Aviv has thrown his hat into the ring. So Vita X Machine has been added to my list of games basically per view. And again, I have 3 choices, so random generator. 3. Let's go. Well, at least it's not 1 again. Wraithport Occult Police Department by Evgeny Petrov is next. I'm pretty sure this guy is a SendURLer, so we should see some stuff in here. Yeah, mostly Grand Venture I basically played in 2025 this year, so there's this game from right now. Here's some other games he basically has going. Tempest Voyager might be his 2024 entry. No, Yellow Game about Valir might be an entry as well. This is a this guy's a lot of SendURLs, I think, because I recognize a lot of his names. I played a lot of his names. But there's a Game Jam game, don't really care about that. Mostly Grand Adventure. That is basically one of his games. I guess it's the wrong buttons here a few times. But there's this 2024 SendURL. There's a 2019 submission. Let's just try this again. So, not that one. Mostly Grand Adventures 2025. Tempest 24 is Tempest Voyager. There's 2023. So, this one, and this one are all SendURL entries. I'm not sure if E or V's are basically entries, but nope, there we go. There's one from 2018, Catalot, and the other ones are just games he did. So, Wraithport Occult Police Department is his entry for the Roguetemple's Fortnight Game Jam. And it's not a browser-based game, so that's cool. So, first things first, it's by Evgeny Petrov, and is it by anyone else? Nope, just him. So still solo dig, that's fine. He does have downloadables. I might just check these out briefly, just and just to see if there's any difference between the two or whatnot. I promise if one of these is better, I'll just judge it over the other one. So there's that. All right, cool. That's in my download file for check in a moment. This guy's the guy who had a CRT effect in his game. We'll just turn that off right away. But yeah, you can have a CRT effect if you want for his game. So, Wraithport Occult Police Department is a classic roguelike created for Roguetemple's Fortnite Challenge 2025, the 14-day RL. Or in my case, I call it the 2-week roguelike challenge. You play as an officer of the Occult Police Department in Wraithport, MA. Hopefully it's Massachusetts, but it could be something else. Your mission is to investigate reports of unlicensed rituals at the Ashwells family manor on the outskirts of the city. Controls, you have arrows or wads to move things, so I guess we got a cardinal direction type of roguelike. That's fine. Space or enter to confirm things. Q to escape, back out, or close a window. You got menus, up, down, or WS to select a menu item. Left, right, or AD to change value, like sound volume. Space, enter, confirm, or toggle an option. So, very straightforward. In-game, you have arrows or wads to move. M for main character, or main menu. C for character, I for inventory, L for look, H for help. If a context-specific action is shown in the bottom right corner, go up, pick up, press the first letter of that action. We'll see what it means. Look mode, so, standard look mode stuff. LQ escape to cancel. Again, you don't have escape for like your browser-based stuff, so I might be just jumping to your like your executable just for that reason, but whatever, we'll test it here anyways. L to show item details. Usually use items. D to drop item. Shift D, smart drops, split stack. Check out guidebook.txt in the downloads below for more information. And the Mac OS build is available but not signed. You may not need to allow it to run manually in your system settings, so that's a thing. Alright, well, he's got basically this, folder file in here to check out, I guess. And I do like to check out everything before I jump into these games. Okay, where'd you put this file then? Guidebook.txt and downloads below for more information. Oh, it's basically its own file. Alright, well, we'll check this out then. So, Wraithport Occult Police Department's got, table of contents here. Introduction. Wraithport Occult is a classic roguelike, blah blah. So you already see this stuff. Rehashes the controls a little bit again. So basic concepts. The game is a classic grid-based, turn-based roguelike. Both players and enemies move in a four-way fashion, so counter directions. There is no concept of speed, with one exception, which means that after each player moves, each enemy will move once. So, standard roguelike, you move, I go. Each game level floor consists of two realms, living and spirit. The player can move between realms by moving into walls. Most enemies are tied to a specific realm and will not be able to chase or attack the player in the other realm, although some can travel between realms. The player can move to the next floor by going up the stairs. The player can't go back to a previous floor, so it's a one-way trip. Player stats, primary stats. Body affects health and melee damage. Will affects critical hit chance, dodge chance, and damage from bullets. And soul affects spirit and damage from scrolls. Secondary stats give armor, health, spirit, critical, and dodge. Armor reduces incoming damage. This should work against any sources of damage, although this needs to be tested. Stacking armor looks to be effective at reducing damage from enemies. Enemies do not have armor. Health. Damage taken in a living realm reduces health. If health reaches 0, the game ends. Damage taken in a spirit realm reduces spirit. If spirit reaches 0, the game ends. So basically you got two different health bars that you basically can deal with if you want to. Critical hit chance. Critical hits do double damage. Enemies can also critical hit. Dodge, chance to quickly avoid damage. This should work against any source of damage, although this needs to be tested. Enemies can also do dodge. Now I have to wonder, by the way, if you can take spirit or health damage basically in the inverse realm. Like, is it possible you can have a foe that basically deals spirit damage into living and you can reduce it that way? But whatever. The player has two health bars as basically obviously seen. Health and spirit. Any damage taken in the living realm reduces health. Any damage taken in the spirit realm reduces spirit. If your health or spirit reaches 0, the game ends. The enemies only have one health stat. Items, there's basically 4 types of items. You got equipment, bullets, consumables, quest items. So, equipment is wearable. Up to 4 items can equip at the same time. There's no equipment slots, so the player can wear, for example, 4 swords at a time if desired. Okay, so basically you want to have a whole lot of swords. Interesting. So bullets. Use bullets to shoot in a selected direction. Bullet damage is affected by will stat. Heavy bullets are piercing. You don't need a specific gun item to shoot. So, okay, so you just shoot whenever you want to. Interesting. I guess you are the gun. Consumables. Scrolls and potions. Used to get various effects. Scrolls and potions are unidentified by default and appear with placeholder names. And using them for the first time or using a scroll of knowledge will reveal their real types. However, saying bad potions or scrolls then. Quest item. Used to read plot-related text. One exception is a small bell, which has a special use. The player starts the game with 6 regular bullets, 1 potion of health, 1 potion of spirit, and assignment lore text. Altars can be used to exchange items. For any free items dropped on the altar, a new item will be created. The quality of the new item is tied to the floor the altar is on. Altar state is not saved between floors, so if you sacrifice 2 items and move to the next floor, the new altar will be empty. Warning, next chapter contains spoilers about game plot and ending. So, alright, basically you got spoilers here. We're not going to basically look at this, that part. We're past the instructions. Alright, so, obviously it's got the exe right here, but we'll try to see in the browser here a little bit first. I guess I'll have this on just for now. Let's put that at 5 for now, I guess. A new run. Well, you have a bit of an issue of like, you know, full screen of game then. But there we go. And you can basically press escape to sort of like back out. That's why my reason, like, you know, you basically want to have like, you know, more like, you know, escape for back out windows and stuff. So at least you got that going. Let's see here. There's like a question mark for something, right? Help is H, so use H for help. Okay. And yeah, you got an issue basically of like, you know, maximizing, minimizing in like this like window of some sort. So how to play. Okay, so the H basically breaks up your how to play here. So it's just basically like, you know, your stuff right there. By the way, you can use the numpad keys to like move around. That's nice. No door here. Good thing walls don't stop at spirit bound. Walk into walls to switch realms. Press Q to continue. So good, you got like, you know, don't use escape basically. Okay, that thing dies. Pick up. Assignment. What's this do? Assignment. Officer. Investigate Asheville Manor for suspected legal rights. Don't do anything reckless again. Captain Brannigan. Press Q to quit. Oh, we got scroll potato, scroll 418. Potion of spirit, potion of health, regular bullets. I wonder about if you basically get like, you know, potions of health for spirit will actually like, you know, be shown here or like add here. Okay, I have bullets. Okay, so you don't actually select, you just like fire and it just fires, so. You got an iron sword. So far, again, it's working like, you know, basically expected. I should go to M for menu to see what that's like. Character maybe to. Shift D to drop items. That's good to know. L for item details. But first things first. So there's my character stats. Damage is 7, armor is 0, body, will, and soul are 1. So I got 1 stat to start at the beginning. Health and spirit currently at 50. You can see that in the bottom. And critical and dodge are 1 and 1. Let's quit that and we'll go to menu. Wraithport OPD. So you can like, you know, change your sound and stuff right here. Excellent. Let's see here. Is there a wait button? I don't see a wait button here at all, so I mean, you don't need a wait button, but it'd be nice if you have one. Well, let's press L to see what this does. I restore his free health, good to know. Deals 15 damage, plus 2 damage melee weapon. So you do get like an extra spirit, like, you know, potion, and that's like add to it. Restores 50 free spirit. Scroll potato, we don't know what these do yet. You can press L on the assignment, basically get like, you know, information about it. So that's cool. I picked up something, a bullet. I think I picked up a single bullet. I wonder by if there's a maximum of bullets you may have, or like, you know, anything like that. It would be nice, but if I got some context on like what I'm picking up, by the way, so I could at least like know what I'm picking up without like going to my info screen, but you know, whatever. That's a nuisance, but I can deal with it. Trying to be crafty, it's not working for me. The sound effects remind me of Canary Keen for some reason. Trap. There's traps. That's annoying. Oh, there's stuff in the spirit realm. That's good to know. Pick up that. Another iron sword. There's stuff in the spirit realm too, apparently. Unless this gets stronger, I guess. There's an item up here, maybe? A crumpled note. What's this? Crumpled note. The ash well is gone, vanished without a word to staff. Door still locked, but I hear steps at night upstairs. I want no part of it. So, you know, mystique and stuff going on. I guess there's a staircase up here, maybe? We go up. I'm really tempted to try some of these, like, you know, these things I have here, but whatever. Crumpled note. Let's drop that. We don't need it. We don't need our assignment eater. We'll drop that too. What just hit me? A trap. I'll note, by the way, already the traps are hugely devastating. Do you have a gun? Oh, that's not fun. We get guys who shoot me. Alright, let's hit these though. So, scroll of YTABL. No valid targets. Scroll of smithing. Scroll of LOL no. Scroll of harm, interesting. Scroll of chili. You become aware of your surroundings. You got match mapping apparently. And apparently I can see, like, you know, everything around me too. That's cool. We'll try your stuff in a moment, but you know. They don't seem to be faster than me, these rats, so. You lose. Okay, so operation failed. Occult practices continue unchecked. Officer compromised. Wraithport at risk. Better luck next time. Alright, well, we basically did some stuff there. I never did find the altar. I wonder if basically, like, you know, how easy it is to find the altar. Anyways, that's basically the browser version. We'll try again just to sort of, like, you know, see what we can basically glean from the game. So blah blah, we'll run anyways. And we're just going to turn off the CRT effect at this point. We see enough. We'll maximize this. The trinket. Oh, that's an item. I'm not sure, but I think I can see stuff in the, you know, moving around in the, you know, the stuff here, and it's like, you know, executable. That's not great. I wonder if it's because I have like the CRT effect off. There is stuff out here, but whatever. Ow. I will note, by the way, I think, like, you know, it'd be a good idea to sort of, like, make these things, like, you know, pop up a little bit better, items and the monsters in, like, this mode. And gosh, the traps. I am not a fan of traps. Pick up that. Gosh, down dying of traps. My skin hardens apparently. I kind of feel like bullets are something that, like, you know, it feels like the bullets basically, they, like, you know, a very finite resource. But you have to use them, I guess. I will note, by the way, I think, like, it's probably a few too many, like, you know, little enemy space in the first floor here. Or types. Okay, this does feel a little bit samey so far entering. I did die, like, you know, pretty quickly, but, you know. Well, at least got the stairs randomly generated. Let's restore that. Okay, you can press space to wait. That's good to know. We found out how to wait. Just hit space. He probably had the instructions too, didn't he? Nope, you didn't have that in your inventory, you know, your help instructions. You forgot to have, like, you know, wait a turn with space. Oh, the traps. Oh, the traps. I'll be honest. I'm probably like, you know, docking your points for traps. Traps are not fun, just, like, you know, for the sake of being traps. So. Yeah, I can see the guys moving on the, you know, the screen here. There's that ghost. Ghost, unharmed. I picked up a spear. Malachite spear, 4 damage, plus 5 crit. So, I mean, why not? We'll drop that. Equip this. And we have more soul, so. You know, let's try something. Let's go to this. Put this on. Does that improve it? No, I can still see like moving in the background there, so. That definitely needs to be improved, I think. Turn that off again. He can die. I don't like the fact they can shoot you from anywhere as well, these guys, so... That could probably be better. Potion Shell basically like does, like, you know... Permanently increases armor by 3 to 5. Oh, we want that then. Why not permanently increase my, like, you know, armor, right? We'll take those in a moment, I guess. We don't need the iron sword, so drop it. So these are revenants and spirit rats. I mean, as long as they can't chase me, I'll leave them alone. Okay, I guess there is some randomization maybe, because I don't see, like, you know... Well, maybe it's like only one guy like last time, who knows. I've still yet to find the altar, but whatever. I want to test something. If I use a bolt from here... I can shoot him, right? And, like, you know, limit him that way. A helm and a trinket. Let's drop the sword. Put these on, maybe. What we got here? Torn page. The obelisks. They scream to each other. Wake them. Quick, quick, quick. One touches the next or the gate will swallow us. Voices screaming. So the reference is, you know, happily hang out over there. We got enough trinkets, so let's leave it alone. Shoot him once. And of course he dodges, because why not? Okay, we got him with, like, the trap. Trigger trap, trigger trap. Let's kill the spirit rat. Alright, so we got ourselves an altar. I'll, you know, toy around that in a moment. Let's just kill everything on the level first. Now I wonder, like, these guys are chasing me even though if they can't see me. That could be a thing. I don't know why I ran to there, but whatever. Okay, we killed him off pretty easily. And scroll potato. Alright, well, we got ourselves some items to, you know, make use of here. Okay, I just want to read this up a little bit more. So, the altars. Altars can be used to exchange items. For any free items dropped onto the altar, a new item will be created. The quality of the new item is tied to the floor. The altar is on. Altar state is not saved, so that's the thing. So basically it's used to create items. Let's pick up these then. So I have to drop it on the altar. Okay, so altar murmurs, and altar howls, reward appears. I think I guys gotta scroll out of that. So I guess maybe I want to pick up these scrolls to see if they can drop or not. So it murmurs, so it does accept these things. It howls. And I don't really be dropping any of this stuff, so leave it be. Of course I find a trap. Why what? Find a trap. I don't see any ability to search for traps either, so... Oh, it's annoying. We killed him, but it hurt. Armor. Armor's pretty straightforward. It protects you, right? Body and armor. Let's drop... Well, let's take this off, rather. Not drop it. We're going to keep it around the stuff for the altar. A wisp. Oh. Mushroom Queen, unharmed. It looks like she can come through the walls. Ow. You can wear my surroundings. Not really useful here. I mean, that's useful. We'll use it. I guess I have to be right next to it for it to work. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. No idea what that did. That's something I'll note by. Like you're definitely missing a message log, and it's kind of odd to say this, but yes, like the message log is important. You want to basically have something to look at, or maybe you do have it and just can't like find it. There could be like a message log and it's just somewhere. Now let's fight this normal, I guess. You are definitely difficult. And you can't kite this person because, no kiting. You're dead. I mean, I can sort of tell, like, what's basically going through the walls, but, the icons definitely could be, like, more color code basically for, like, the walls, and, like, like, this guy could be, like, these guys see different colors to sort of like indicate like, you know, they're in the walls, but they're like, you know, passing through them. She is still coming after me. I'll just go to the spirit realm if I have to fight her. Still a bone helmet, still a spear. Oh, the spears do have different, like, you know, attributes. So... same with the sword. I kind of feel by the way that you should have, like, you know, the information listed on the spears, like, you know, free-free or stuff like that to sort of indicate what to basically have going for them. Because I have to basically read every single item. That's just annoying. Like, look at that. I have to basically read that to sort of understand what basically is good for me. Let's get that on. And of course, there's a fuck. Excuse my language, but yes, there's a trap. You know, I can look down here and see what these guys basically are. So we got ourselves a hunter and a skeleton. Player badly hurt. I finally defeated her. So there's a small bell. Small translucent bell. It chimes faintly. Okay, so this is a thing that got the special use. I guess like if you want to avoid her, you probably could, but you're missing like an ending type. There's something above me. And of course now I probably have to look at this stuff to see what it's got. So it's got free body, 10 armor. Five body, 10 armor. I kind of wish I fought the, you know, Mushroom Queen in this realm because I would have saved a lot of, like, you know, health potions for the other guys. Couldn't see that guy, by the way. Oh, I died because he was right there. Alright, well. We got basically a little bit far that time and died, you know, right away. And yeah, there's definitely, you know, problems with, like, you know, oh, you know what it is? It's basically because I have full screen, I guess, perhaps. Yeah, look at that. Like, without the full screen, it's like not like, causing issues. Well, that's basically enough for me to sort of get adjust to the game. I guess we'll go to judging the game then, shall we? So we're just going to cut this. We just delete this row for next time. So, and format wrapping, please be on. So completeness. You definitely had quite a bit of instructions. I mean, there's a little bit of bug when we basically try and expand it, so play it in the executable. But technically, it's not really doing anything too substantial when you basically full screen, other than just learning a layer of space. Definitely feel like you're at least as you're on the for at least. So you have some trivial bugs, like there's that graphics bug where you basically can see the guy. No crashes. I will say you're missing a message log, and you definitely do need it for understand what items basically are. Yeah, is there anything with spacebar in here, right? So, oh yeah, you did right there. Spacer enter to confirm things. But yeah, I didn't actually say anything about waiting. So, pretty straightforward. You're not losing a whole lot of points, but I mean it kind of feels like you should explain that that, and there's a little bit of trivial bugs. All right, aesthetics wise, had a CRT option. Bit of an issue with the executable when expanded. Now, I think the main problem I basically have these stacks is I think it's basically a core takeaway here. The main issue you're gonna have, I think, is just you should have more colors just help distinguish the enemies from the terrain. It's is that an enemy sort of thing? That's basically what's happening to me a lot. So that could be a lot better. And what I want to say effort went into entry at the very least. I'll note basically that is a big issue, not being able to sort of see stuff, but it wasn't a big issue all the time, so you missed the mark. I think that I'll say it'll be sufficient to give you that. Fun. Actually, you're going to get Automatic 2 here. I know that's basically like the key takeaway for fun. Like, you had something there, but the traditional elements were basically taking away the game from the game a lot. And again, the message log also hurts here a little bit, but you know, I'll try and like, you know, limit that to like, you know, completeness over here for now. I can't say it's very innovative, this game, by the way. You put in some effort, but I mean, not a lot of ideas. I'm not really sure I have like, you know, done like the, you know, different like, you know, levels and stuff like that, but I mean, it's not something like, you know, I haven't seen explored before. That's to throw it out there. I'll note basically the main like takeaway here, I guess, is like, you know, a lot of like the ideas like, you know, scrolls and like, you know, items, traps, like they've all been done before for sure, so there's like really no like interesting twist besides like, you know, you go to like different levels basically on like the same level, different planes of existence on the same level. Scope, I think you're probably gonna get free. I'm trying to think like, you know, how I want to say this, but like there's definitely like a lot like, you know, of detail basically I went in here. I think it's like the key takeaway. Like I'll note like the main thing, like, you know, the message log, that'd be like, you know, something that like, you know, definitely would like, you know, help to boost you up to like, you know, at least a 4. But even like, you know, outside of that, like, you know, having like the ability to like, you know, equip a gun, so like, you know, you're not basically like shooting without a gun. What else could I possibly say? more elements basically to sort of like, ideas basically like, build on if like you could think of them. Like this, it could have been more here, I think. Roguelike, yes. What can I say about this? It's definitely not puzzle or like horror. It's definitely very classic. Not much more to say in that. I did feel like, I was basically able to get like immersed with like the character, even though I was also finding like, it's basically very fun as a thing, it's, drawing me out as well, but it was very immersive for what you basically had going there. Good attempt. Definitely need that message log. Thinking about it, I probably could have actually looked to see, like, how hurt people are basically being, but whatever. And that's another thing, like, your inventory could, like, yeah, I'm going to knock this down. So, that's basically your finger, right? I don't think that needs to be saying any more than that. Basically, like, the traps are definitely not, like, something I appreciate. Like, there's a time and place basically to have, like, X damage traps, but just randomly all over the place, just like, I'd rather not be there. Like, if you had, like, teleport traps and stuff like that, that'd be, like, interesting. Or something that basically fixes you to the ground, makes, like, the situation different for you to sort of deal with. Well, I don't think your score's being, like, going to be good, but, yeah, a little bit below the mark is what I can basically say about your game, but, at least it's not too far, down. So there's that at least. So that was basically Wraithport Occult Police Department. Not much more to say in that, so I hope you guys basically enjoyed the video and take care.